What were your thoughts about our last meeting?
Yeah, it's good. Well, I'd like to move on to that.
Okay.
So,
With basements?
basements, yeah.
Okay.
And then we can add later on the service, the other one, kitchens and bathrooms separately if you want to do it down the road.
Okay. Yeah, I would suggest you get really profitable in one area, then expand because people want to see you being the expert on one thing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm getting confused. Did we talk about branding before, or just lightly, or did I show you a PowerPoint presentation about branding?
No, just as talk we did.
Okay. I told you about how they used subliminal messaging
Yes,
in
yes,
the
yes.
80s and so on. Okay. All right, that's what I want to do today. Do you have any questions before we start?
So we get how does it work this when we do branding, include all these everything in there, right? Like the whole thing gonna be like websites and um basically logos or whatever it is, designs and
Yep,
everything,
yep,
all in there.
yeah,
Okay.
everything. Um, Technically, we're talking about a business in a box. A business in the box is about branding, the business blueprint, websites, social media, hiring strategy for employees, training programs, really everything that a business requires over time. Okay.
Okay.
So the same thing about, designing and building a house. Before you can design and build a house, you need to know exactly what the house is going to look like before you buy a shovel, right?
Yes.
So, or hire your first employee or start digging the foundation. You can't dig the foundation for a house unless you know what the house is going to look like, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Same thing for a business. Even though nobody does it the right way, you need to know exactly, what the business is going to look like before you start,
yeah.
right? Because you need to know the people to hire, the equipment you need, and so on. Okay. Good question. Any other question?
um so the website is going to be um where is it going to be hosted, and is it going to be under my company name, or how is it going to work?
It really depends on the payment stage. Obviously, we have to do a lot of things up front. Some of the things that we do sometimes are between 50 and $100,000. And obviously, before we can start transferring all this stuff to you, because these are major assets, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes the website alone is $50,000. So before we start transferring all these assets over to you, we need to know that, there's a relationship between us and you're not going to just steal the business. Okay.
What do you mean by a relationship? We're gonna do the business, like obviously. So, um, is that gonna be like separate thingy, or is just gonna be all together in the package?
Well, your best deal is going to be a package deal. But there's a lot of the stuff you can do yourself. Um, uh, but you have to also decide whether you want to be, a basement renovation or finishing company, or you want to be a sales company that, builds basements, or you want to be in the marketing industry for companies that build basements. I mean, there's so many different segments, right? There's so much work you need to do that if I were in your shoes, I would concentrate on being the best basement finisher possible and delegate everything else, right? Because
Okay.
you can't be the expert at, marketing and branding and sales and social media strategies and blogging and creating videos and editing videos. And I mean, you could spend 100 years trying to do everything yourself, and it's impossible to design and build a great company by yourself. You need to have great employees. around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So let's say we start right now and we go in, let's say down the road, let's say a year from now or 2 years from now, what's gonna happen if we say, okay, I know how to take care of things, so I'm gonna do it myself. Um, is everything gonna be? Is it how do we do it?
Everything by that time, hopefully, is transferred to you, right?
Yeah, the
Everything by that
transfer.
time, you will have employees, you'll have virtual assistants, you'll have salespeople, you'll have crews, you'll have branded marketing. I mean, you'll have, 12 months from today, if you're not doing at least $1 million in revenue, I really didn't do a good job for you.
Mhm. Okay, I'm having a really good feeling because I know I can do it, and
Well, I'm glad that you have a good feeling, but it's really not about you. It's about the system, right?
yes,
It's the system that attracts profitable clients. It's the system that attracts quality employees, right? And employees are going to come to you because they see opportunities for advancement. They see opportunities to get into management. They see an opportunity to maybe even buy a franchise and help you finance the franchise. You're going to attract them because they're going to see real opportunity, not fake opportunity. It has to
Mhm.
be real opportunity. And if they see you, doing really nice projects, driving a nice vehicle, making some good income and getting quality of life, and your clients are happy, and you're getting great reviews, and you're producing videos, and you're getting video reviews and stuff like that. If they see that happening, then they're going to say, I want to be part of that. How can I be part of this?
Yeah,
Right? And you say, and we'll train you and your salespeople to do this, give me 2 years of your life, or at least a year and a half of your life. Bust your ass for me, do a great job, and after that, I will help you to become a project manager, a franchisee, a sales manager, whatever you want to be. I'm going to create the opportunity for advancement. But first, I need to know that you're going to be, a devoted employee for at least 2 years. Show me loyalty. I'll show you loyalty back. I'll give you benefits. I'll give you a nice salary. I'll give you advancement opportunities. We have an internal training program to help you do all this. So, and when they see it, and it's not just words, when they see it happening with other employees, they're going to say, yeah, I want this.
okay,
Right? So, I mean, we've done this so many times. I mean, when I first started my construction business, that's how I had to get devoted subcontractors, by saying, hey, right now you're busting your ass trying to find work. You're busting your ass trying to do the work. You're doing marketing. You're trying to hire people. You're trying to, train people. Is just too much, right?
yeah,
Be loyal to me. I will find you all the work that you will need. I will put the next 10 jobs ahead of you. Just be loyal to me, give me a good job, I'll be loyal back, and I'll put 10 projects in front of you, so you don't have to worry about whether I'm going to pay my mortgage next month or where my next job is coming
yeah.
from.
It's important. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important for
Be
any
loyal to
employee.
me, I will be loyal to you. Give me a great
Yeah.
job, make me look in front of the client, and I'll give you better and better jobs each time. So,
Okay.
right? I mean, it works. The construction industry is about building relationships. I'm
Yeah.
going to share the screen so we can start looking at some of this stuff. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, crap. Okay. So we talked a little bit about this. I'm going to go over it, a little bit so you understand what I'm talking about. Branding is about building trusted relationships. Branding is about making a promise to your future potential clients that you're going to do an awesome job. Branding
Okay.
is about subliminal messaging. Branding is understanding psychology and using psychology to use their subconscious mind to say, I want to work with this company. And most people will say, well, I don't know why that is, but I get the warm, fuzzy feeling, or it just feels right, right?
Yeah.
And when they say it feels right, then they make the decision in the right direction. So branding is part of the business blueprint, and and part of the business blueprint is 33 chapters in a textbook. So when you design a business or a business in a box, it's not just about branding, attracting employees, and so on. It's 33 chapters that you have to build, and we'll talk about the other things that are part of the business blueprint. So one of the most important parts when you're doing marketing or branding is to be part of the community. So, a company can spend $1 million online, but if they're not part of the community, they're going to feel like they spent $100,000 instead of $1 million on branding. When
Yeah.
you do it correctly, you can make it look like you spent $1 million on marketing when you only spent $100,000, but you're using strategies to make it look like you spent a ton of money. And part of that is to be part of the community. And this is why we use truck wraps to make sure that you're seen as part of the community. These
Hmm.
trucks will be seen at jazz festivals, um, you know, um, uh, community events, rib festivals, and so on. Okay. So branding, as I said, subliminal messaging is something that is illegal. When they had popcorn on the screen of the theaters, popcorn sales would jump up. Um, and that's illegal, but there's still stuff you can use to get inside their brain and build trust and build trusted relationships. Okay. So here's an example. I think I told you that the average
Yeah.
painting company gets to $800,000 because of this company has wow. Wow is that promise you're making to future potential clients. This company does $100 million. Okay. Because they're using subliminal type messaging to make that promise. Hire us, even though we're more expensive than everyone else, we will make you happy. And that's why they're doing $100 million. Okay. So this is, we've been updating these truck wraps now for more than 10 years, and we've been testing. This is actually a 3D character that stands 2.5 feet above the truck. So the idea is to get noticed. If you're
Hmm.
driving this vehicle on Highway 401, Highway 401 has 400,000 vehicles a day. So when you get a really noticeable vehicle, you get the wow factor, especially with a man's head standing above the truck by 2.5 feet. And what we're doing for this particular client, they're a handyman service. We're cutting it at the roof line. We're putting a hinge here so it folds down so they can still go into the underground parking.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we test a lot of different colors for this company. And as I said, this was one of the companies that I was asking you to come and work for. And they're going to go with about 5 different brands. This is actually a door knocking campaign type vehicle, and it has the speaker system on the side here and a double-sided TV. These TVs are about $5,000. They're two-sided TVs, the same type of TVs they use for billboards and stuff. They're outside TVs. So we've been testing a lot of these brands, and we've updated the cartoon character because that one tests better. Now, this is the one we're thinking for you. We haven't updated the cartoon characters yet. This is actually old branding. And we're going to update this cartoon character with a more up-to-date cartoon. But again, he sticks 2.5 feet above the van. So it's a 3D effect. And if you recall, a lot of the billboards have 3D where there's something sticking above the billboard to get recognition, get notice, get your eyeballs on it. Okay.
Hmm.
So can you imagine driving this truck around your neighborhood, around jazz festivals, to church or whatever mosque, and they keep seeing this vehicle everywhere? Then they see, the same type of marketing and branding online, Facebook ads, newspaper ads, and they see the website and maybe a radio campaign or different things. And they usually need to see you about 10 times, 10 to 15 times before they act. So the more places they see it, and sometimes we hire, or not hire, sometimes we rent these vehicles to courier companies so they drive up and down the highway so they get seen everywhere. So there is a company out of Brampton, a courier company out of Brampton, that will pay you to rent this vehicle because they sometimes don't have enough vehicles. So instead of renting it from budget or wherever they go, they pay you slightly less, but they have a clean vehicle and a beautiful vehicle they drive around, and they're promoting you at the same time. What do you think of this vehicle?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Can we agree that if you saw this on Highway 401, even going the other direction, you're going to look at it and say, "What the hell was that?" Right?
Of course, I would look at it. Yeah.
Right. So it's a very noticeable, very bright colors. It's designed to get attention, and especially with this character, right? The cartoon character really stands out. Picture
Yeah.
it without the TVs. Again, the TVs are designed for, for marketing. When the vehicle is going to be on the highway 401 or DVP or whatever, or 410. Where do you live? You're in Oakville?
Hamilton. Hamilton.
Hamilton, or whatever 403 in Hamilton or whatever it is, at the grocery store, in every popular spot at the bank and so on in Hamilton. Then they see the online marketing, and there's a speaker system. You may have to move yourself so you can see the speaker system. You can drag me on the
Yeah,
other
I
side.
can.
Yeah. So these are designed, same thing with the ice cream truck. Remember when you were a kid, the ice cream
Mhm.
truck comes down your street, all the kids go crazy and they run to the street.
Yeah.
It's the same type of scenario. For one of the companies, we hired a comedian that does voices. He does Trump's voice, he does Obama's voice, and he does a number of voices. And we created what we call traffic trivia. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, when you're stuck in traffic, this thing is moving along. There's images happening on the TV screen, and the speaker system is doing traffic trivia. And asked the gentleman in the gray Audi behind me, what is, whatever. It's a pre-recorded message, but it sounds like it's live. And of course, the driver is wearing noise canceling headphones, or else he's going to be driven crazy.
Hmm.
But he's concentrating on driving, and the pre-recorded message is doing its job.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how we think we can get 20 calls per day per truck. If you close 20% of those at, let's say, $60,000 basements, I'm sure you can see
That's a
how
lot.
that would add up, right?
Oh yeah.
We did a truck like this for a roofing company, and I'm pretty sure I told you already, they closed 37 jobs on one street, at the average of $16,000 per roof. Okay.
Yeah,
What
I
we
told
do, what we do for them is on Saturdays, we do a barbecue in the summer. And we invite all the neighbors to come over and have, a hot dog or a hamburger, and they see the show happening. The guys are installing a roof, and they're looking very professional, they're engaging. And a lot of times we get real estate agents as volunteers to give out the gift bags. So they knock on doors, and sometimes we have T-shirts, water bottles, gift certificates, 2-for-1 gift certificates for restaurants. So there's a lot of giveaways. So when you're doing a door knocking campaign, you're not just bothering people, you're giving valuable stuff away. Okay.
Yeah.
So these door knocking campaigns are valuable. They can probably, 2 weekends can probably fill up your summer for one crew in terms of basements.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you some of the other stuff, some of the other colors. Obviously, we can test different colors. There's also this design, custom built basements in red. But we find the other colors to be, especially the one in pink. I don't think I saved the one in pink. The one with pink lettering applies and was more friendly to women. And we find that a lot of women initiate the first call. So custom built basements, outrageous basements, fabulous basements as well. All these, I went through the list. As I told you, we have about 10,000 websites, and I picked the best ones that have been testing better. And of course, .com is important because if you want to franchise into Canada or US,
Yeah.
.com is mandatory. The TV screen is showing a theater. We used to make a lot of money into theaters, especially in the soundproofing and wine cellars and water features and fireplaces and stuff like that. Fabulous basements or pool rooms or billiard rooms to entertain the kids and the neighbors.
Yeah.
Fabulous basements, beautiful basements now. And financing is going to be a huge part. I would say about 60 to 70% of your projects are going to be financed. I told you about the group dry basement. See, a lot of people don't have comfortable basements, and that's why they never finished it. So you have to solve that problem first. Cozy basements, leak fixed would be one of them. So I would have at least one truck like this to fix the problem, because you can't even get a conversation going with them about finishing a basement because everything's moldy, everything's musty. They can't even store stuff in the basement, especially older homes in Toronto that only have 6-foot basements. And underpinning is going to be a huge part of that. But fixing the leaks, and fixing the leaks, have your salespeople go out and quote a job for fixing the leaks, sub the work out 100%, and wait for them to be ready to have their basements finished, right? It might be a year or so because they want to make sure that the basement is fixed. WeCareWaterproofing.com, leak fixed. And leak fixed is past tense. It's been fixed, right? So it creates confidence. Dry basements, and so on. Okay. So all these names are great to compare with or compete against custom built basements. But I think custom built basements should be your lead company, and everything works under the one company. And again, you can use your existing company, and all your taxes and purchasing and everything is under your major company. Then you have the different brands operating under your company, or just register a numbered company, 567896 Ontario Limited, operating as custom built basements. Okay. And that should cost you, I think, around $200 or $250 to register.
So even under this company, I can register. Under the corporation, I can register.
Yeah. You don't need to register brands. The government just wants to make sure you're paying your taxes. They don't care how you run your company internally. They just want their taxes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Where do we go from there?
Well, we basically just need a go ahead. We need to update the websites.
The website is not coming up live. I don't know why.
Well, because we're still working on it. And the we were updating it for someone else, then we got stalled. We've got too much work going on. This subcontractor is really behind on his work, so stuff that should have been done 2 months ago. And it's my fault because I keep giving him other priorities. But custom built basements was something that fell between the cracks because we had someone interested and we didn't have someone interested in it, and that's why I felt between the cracks. Because
But you don't think there's another company called Custom Built Basements?
there might be someone in the U.S. or somewhere in Canada that's using that name, but in terms of a web presence, they can't use custom built basements.
Yeah, because it's already been taken.
Right. So I mean, they can operate under custom built basements, but they cannot have a website under custom built basements, right?
Yeah.
In order for you to protect your brand, you might want to register as a trademark custom built basements. But there's so many ways around it. I wouldn't waste your money. I would just have the lawyer send them a cease and desist letter, and scare them out of using it. From a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But
Or
you really,
copyrighted.
well, it's not copyrighted, but it's the lawyer can phrase it in a way they are damaging your brand, and you're going to sue them for damages. Most of the times, 8 out of 10 times, they will stop using it because nobody likes to be sued. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And as I said, I think I have a couple of boxes of T-shirts already with custom built basements branding on them. So I mean, it's ready to go. We just need your go ahead, and we need to figure out how we're going to work together because at this point I have no idea how much money you
Yeah.
have available
Um,
and how we're going to do the branding. As I said, you should hire at least 3 virtual assistants. I think that's going to be your best return. We can also do pay-per-click, but pay-per-click is not that cheap. Depending on how fast you need projects.
so
So maybe
I
start with pay-per-click, get 1 or 2 projects, then let your virtual assistants take over. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot right now because I already put it on the business and some of it and used and stuff like that. Um, what we can do is every project, whatever happens, we put away for marketing, and obviously you said it will be what would be your fee, like packages starts from 5 to um
Well,
last time you told me.
yeah, see, again, we don't have anything that's written in concrete because, again, I want to develop a relationship with you long term. I want to franchise this company, right? I
Yes.
want to turn you into $100 million company. And when you get above the 5 million or the 10 million, that's where I start making money. Before that, we've got so much invested in this system that even if you pay me 10 grand, I mean, it doesn't even come close to covering my expenses, right? So
Mhm.
we work backward, we bend over backwards to make you successful. And when you're successful, eventually we start making money. So the faster we can get you to 5 million or $10 million, the quicker I can start making money. So what
Okay.
I would like to see is 10% of each project automatically gets put aside for marketing, to keep the company growing, Okay.
Oh, okay.
And we should start with at least $5,000 for me to help you start this process. Then, we can let it go until you have your second or third project. Then we start on the monthly program, but we need to have the virtual assistants. And that's why I want to contact the other company. And by the way, he hired 3 people and he's already sending them to me for training. So I think the rest of the resumes are going to be open. I need to meet with him for lunch because, through email, he hasn't budged. But I'm pretty sure if we sit down for lunch again, I'm pretty sure I can get some of his resumes, and we can probably save 3 or 4 weeks of time trying to go through resumes.
Okay.
So, but I see the virtual assistants crucial because they're going to confirm your appointments. They're going to respond to your emails. They're going to do all the stuff you shouldn't be doing, social media posting and responding to comments and posting comments and stuff like that, because you need those trusted relationships. You need to build a lot of relationships with investors, interior designers, real estate investors, right? People who buy properties and buy them properties that need to be fixed up and sell them as income producing properties to first time home buyers, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's
Okay.
something you should do later on as well.
Yeah. Later on when we have something, right now it's not the time for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So give
So,
it some thought, schedule another call for tomorrow. Let's find a way of working together.
okay, great.
All right. Have a good night. We'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.